Welcome everyone to the Team Builders Mastermind. Tonight we have a special presentation. Tonight we're talking about our why and why it's so important to start with why. And so I'm just going to jump into the slides right now. Again, everyone sees this, good to go. Seeing yeses. Okay, everyone, so welcome to the Start With Why training. Let's move along here. So here's what we're going to cover tonight. And if at any moment the screen doesn't work or something, I do apologize. This is the first time using the software, so just let me know if it's blank or if I'm just talking. There's slides to go along with this. Make sure you're checking them out right now and you can see them. So here's what we're going to cover tonight. The types of leaders and the different ways to motivate people and inspire people. Starting with why and the biology of marketing. The main reason why people make decisions and how to truly help inspire action. And at the end of it, everyone's going to get the foundational sharing formula. And I guess another note I want to add to this too is everyone's going to leave with a blueprint and basically a little bit of homework, but hopefully by the end of the training, you'll have most of it done and you'll have a really strong why and an elevator pitch if you've ever heard of anything like that. And it's going to really be awesome. By the end of it, you guys are really going to have a clear idea of where you're going with everything here. So moving along. There's two different types of leaders. Those who decide to manipulate to get the end result, and those who start with the end result in mind. And they let everything else just fall naturally into place. And maybe you guys can start to think about different people in your life from your past and your present, and those two different types of leaders. One of them inspires, the other manipulates. And according to Simon Sinek, there are two ways to attract customers. You can inspire the carrots, or you can inspire the carrots or manipulating the sticks. And pricing, promotions are the most commonly identified forms of sales, and they're manipulation. And this causes fear, aspirations, peer pressure, and these are the tools that they use to get people to make those decisions. It's fear, aspirations, peer pressure, novelty, and they try and tend to be discreet, but these are short-term solutions, and this is not. I will just repeat that. This is not what we're going to be diving into on this training. What we're going to be diving into is more the carrot. And if anyone, does anyone, get what this photo is saying now after this? If you've ever heard this idiom, it's the donkey and the carrot and the stick analogy. You can get your donkey, or you can motivate, you can inspire someone through hitting them with a stick, or you can dangle the carrot in front of the donkey and the donkey will move that way too. So there's two different ways. So notice a pattern here. I'll give you a little background on what's on this image here. So Apple company, they're a really interesting company because they, from the beginning, had a really great slogan of think differently. And they knew that they were going to attract a person that wants to think differently. That might not be everyone's cup of tea, but for the people that really enjoyed Apple products, it really took off for them. And a great example for that is when they first came out with the iPod. And the iPod was the one when it finally had music on it. And it was, everyone's music players were like Discmans and bricks and just like, they were really clunky and they didn't work very properly. And there wasn't much songs that you could put on it. And then they came out with a device called the iPod. And it was fairly revolutionary for its time. And they came up with a description, and one of the technical guys came up with a description, and he's like, it's a hard drive computer interface that has dialogues, touches, menu interfaces so that you can enjoy over 1,000 songs of your music. And, everyone's kind of sleeping in the meeting like that, right? And Steve Jobs comes in and he just says, no, it's 1,000 songs in your pocket. And it's over. The meeting's over like that. And so, and as I go through this training, I'm going to go into some of these other examples here. But if you don't recognize these two chaps, these are the Wright brothers. And I'm assuming he's a fairly iconic figure, Martin Luther King Jr. And I'm going to share with you in future slides here how they play into this and why. Notice the pattern. I really want you guys to remember that going forward. So what? And again, Janet talked about a little bit this, and people like Doug Wu and very, very successful people talk a lot about this strategy. And it all starts with what? And I think everyone, this is the first thing that they can really explain really well. And every single company on the planet knows what they do. This is true no matter how big or small the company is, no matter what the industry they belong to. Everyone can easily describe the products and services their company sells, or they should. You know, it's very easy to look at that information and start to educate yourself, or the job or the function they have in the company. How? Some people actually go that step further and they know how these companies, what they do, and some of the inner workings more of it. And the hows are often given to explain something, the bigger parts of it, or how they're better and how they're different. Very, very few people and companies can clearly articulate why they do what they do. This isn't about running a profitable company. That's a result. Why is all about your purpose. Why does your company exist? Why did you get out of bed in the morning? Why did you start this business in the first place? And why should anyone care? Right? So there's a bit of information, and there will be some more information as we go through the slides, but if you just bear with me, we'll get through it together. So this is called the golden circle. And I just showed you those last 3 slides, and you can see that the what, the how, and the why. And when we start with why from the inside out, why is the reason why people buy. And the what just basically represents what's tangible and the proof and the belief about it. So you do need both, but you need to start looking at the timing and how you use these different accolades or different functions of your mind and the business and how you share with people. So this next slide. Inspired leaders act and communicate from the inside out, from the why out, because people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. This isn't my opinion, this is biology, and humans' nature is to desire and belong. This desire drives us to pursue others who share the same why with us. And oddly enough, this golden circle matches the way our brain operates. And so how you read this slide is, the neocortex portion of our brain, it corresponds with the what level. The what level on the outside of this Jolly Rancher schematic here, the outside layer. And so this is responsible for all of our rational analytical thought and language. This allows us to look through vast amounts of information, facts, and figures, but it doesn't drive behavior. And the limbic brain is these 2 middle sections. And our limbic brain is more responsible. This is for every human across the board. I might add that as well. We all are functioning under these, all the same on the inside. And this is responsible for our feelings like, trust, and loyalty. This roughly corresponds with the why level. This is the area of the brain that is responsible for human behavior and our decision making. So, and this is, I pulled the information, I have evidence to back this up. It's not on this slide, I should have sourced it, but 95% of our decisions are coming from and are made up from our limbic and subconscious, that emotional gut brain. And so, yeah, when we communicate from the outside in, people can understand vast amounts of information, features, benefits, facts, figures, but it just does not drive behavior. So if you guys can start to see the correlation and how a person shares and what you share, the content of what you share, if you want it to drive behavior, it's going to have to start with why. You can give people all the facts and figures in the world, but if you do that, they'll always give that, but it just doesn't feel right. Why would they say something like that? Why would they say something like it doesn't feel right? Would it be because you're only activating, and I'll go back a couple slides so this really ties in. Right here, you guys, look at this slide. Actually, I might have skipped over this accidentally. But so the neocortex, responsible for all rational thought and analytical thought, responsible for feelings, trust, loyalty, all human behavior decisions, and has no capacity for language, which would make sense when people are like, yeah, I don't know, it just doesn't make sense though. It just doesn't feel right now. And if you all you've been talking about are facts and figures and haven't been talking about the reasons why you do this business, That might be a huge portion, a huge area why people are not really making that big decision or making a decision for you. And so the best thing that they can muster up is just, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right. And that's all because they're acting out of their neocortex brain and not their Y brain, their limbic brain. So when we communicate from the inside out, we are talking directly to the part and from the part that controls behavior. And people will rationalize it with the things we say and do after. The what? The results and the testimonials. So it's a two-punch combo where you get them with the why. This is why this is so important to me, and this is what it is, and here's the results, here's the testimonials, and here's the proof. Does that make sense? Everyone give me a thumbs up if that makes sense so far. Woohoo? Great. I'm seeing thumbs across the board, so that's good. Alrighty. So the goal, what do we do with this information now that we know this? The goal is we would like to achieve is with the builders group that we have here is we want to inspire more people to vote, buy, and more importantly, be loyal and be a part of what it is to do. I added vote and buy because this is very generic. This is general. This is really works for everyone's decision making. And it's not just to sell people that need what you have, somebody that needs a better opportunity. And I think maybe sometimes people are thinking that that's only what this is. The goal is to offer to people who believe what you believe. And I'll show you why. Because if someone just needs something, if someone joins you because they need something, they will give you their time. I will give you that. But if you get someone to come in because they join you because they believe in what you believe, and I'm not even talking politics or religion or anything like that. You can have your own beliefs 100% with those things. But when it comes to what you believe with business building and success and everyone having their ability to have and build and gain access to their own abundance and all this personal development knowledge that we do access and learn, if you can get them to believe in a lot of those core things and the vision and the message of what we're sharing here, absolute quality, absolute price, the vision of whatever your company is too, this all works. It's all general. It's all congruent for every type of business. They will give you their blood. They will give you their sweat, and they will give you their tears. And for me, that's what I really want to build passionate people in my teams, in my companies. I don't want just flaky people that are just fly by night. So do you know why you do what you do? If people respond to the things because of why they do it, and I've just proven that in the previous slides, it's very important for you to know why you do something. And the best place to find out why you do something is to ask yourself why you started in the first place. So,
you want to listen?
You betcha. I think everyone's, I just heard some, oh, Kathy here. I'm just going to mute Kathy and Pearl. So, the Wright brothers, everyone knows these chaps, hopefully. And if not, this will be an enlightening moment. But for the most part, this is the part of the story I don't think people know that much. And my good friend Simon Sinek, I have a video here. Hopefully it plays and everything works properly. But yeah, let's just watch this video together now. Like I said, I wish it would play properly. Okay, well, is it playing? That's what I want to know. No. Okay, it's loading. Hang with me 1 sec. Come on, technology. I'm gonna call an audible here real quick and just go back to this. Everyone can just watch it together because I know it works this way. And then we'll go back to the presentation mode after, just for this moment. So interesting. My apologies. Give me 2 seconds, and if I can't find it, I'll just explain it to the best of my knowledge, but I think I have the actual video on my computer here still too. So, yes, so gosh, this is, I think this is where it's at, 8:15.
Powered man flight was like the .com of the day.
Okay, I got it here, everyone. Thank you for being patient. Let's watch this video together. So,
because they can do a job that'll work for your money. But if you hire people who believe what you believe, they work for you with blood and sweat and tears. And nowhere else is there a better example of this than with the Wright brothers. Most people don't know about Samuel Pierpont Langley. And back in the early 20th century, the pursuit of powered man flight was like the .com of the day. Everybody was trying it. And Samuel Pierpont Langley had what we assume to be the recipe for success. I mean, even now, you ask people, why did your product or why did your company fail? And people always give you the same permutation of the same three things. Undercapitalized, the wrong people, bad market conditions. It's always the same three things. So let's explore that. Samuel Pierpont Langley was given $50,000 by the War Department to figure out this flying machine. Money was no problem. He held a seat at Harvard and worked at the Smithsonian and was extremely well connected. He knew all the big minds of the day. He hired the best minds money could find, and the market conditions were fantastic. The New York Times followed him around everywhere, and everyone was rooting for Langley. And how come we've never heard of Samuel Pierpont Langley? A few hundred miles away in Dayton, Ohio, Orville and Wilbur Wright. They had none of what we consider to be the recipe for success. They had no money. They paid for their dream with the proceeds from their bicycle shop. Not a single person on the Wright brothers team had a college education, not even Orville or Wilbur. And the New York Times followed them around nowhere. The difference was Orville and Wilbur were driven by a cause, by a purpose, by a belief. They believed that if they could figure out this flying machine, it would change the course of the world. Samuel Pierpont Langley was different. He wanted to be rich and he wanted to be famous. He was in pursuit of the result. He was in pursuit of the riches. And lo and behold, look what happened. The people who believed in the Wright brothers' dream worked with them with blood and sweat and tears. The others just worked for the paycheck. And they tell stories of how every time the Wright brothers went out, they would have to take 5 sets of parts because that's how many times they would crash before they came in for supper. And eventually, on December 17th, 1903, the Wright brothers took flight. And no one was there to even experience it. We found out about it a few days later. And further proof that Langley was motivated by the wrong thing, the day the Wright brothers took flight, he quit. He could have said, that's an amazing discovery, guys, now we'll improve upon your technology. But he didn't. He wasn't first. He didn't get rich. He didn't get famous. He quit. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And if you talk about what you believe, you will attract those who believe what you believe. Well, why is it important to attract those who believe what you believe? Something.
And that's the short little clip there. So I'm going to go back to the presentation as long as it allows me to here. Should be good to go. What did everyone think of that video? How did that make sense? You kind of see the finer details, the finer points of that. Yeah, obviously, if you don't have a strong why, you're dead in the water. Like compared to someone that does have a really strong why, that's what I really got out of that too. So, of course, it's not showing up yet, but there we go. There. I really appreciate everyone being patient. So we're back here to this window. Everyone sees it and should see me. I think so. Let's just move along. Everyone, can someone give me an audible? Yeah, they can see the slides right now.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay. Keep moving along. So yeah, that's what we learned. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And what you do simply proves what you believe. And there's no better person or greater example than this, Martin Luther King Jr., because everyone knows he had a I have a dream speech, not the I have a plan speech. If you listen to most of the people online and even in MLM network marketing, a lot of it is a lot of hype mic marketing with cars and flash, and it's really get rich quick types of stuff, and it's not inspiring to anybody. I don't understand why they haven't figured that out, because there are leaders and then there are those who lead. And yeah, I definitely go, I don't know if I go into that as much in the slides, but there's people that, you know, people really resonate and they're inspired to follow. And then there's people that are just leaders. They're not people that actually truly lead, because the leaders, they just hold a position of power, but those who lead truly inspire us. Whether they're individuals or an organization, those who lead not be, those who lead not because what we have, because what, yeah, I'm reading from some terrible notes here, but I'll just move on to the next slide here. We follow those who lead not for them, but truly for ourselves. And that's what we're doing it for, our own reasons, for our own beliefs and our own motivation that way. It's just the leaders that can do that really well, they understand that and they really align people with their with what they believe and what's important to believe about the opportunity or the company. So those who start with why have the ability to inspire those around them and find others who inspire them. It creates this positive feedback loop effect. So start with why. And that we're going to move into the more of the I guess the assignment portion of this. That was more the theory, and this is now the assignment. If you don't have a pen and paper, I would just have a pen and paper handy. Again, just to write. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry about that. I only see the Wright brothers on my screen.
Serious? Yeah, that's what I needed to know. Okay. It must have not worked. Anyways, I guess just like you guys can just look at my screen that I have for this. Let's try it one more time.
That's better.
Okay, now it updated for some reason. So yeah, I apologize. I'm just using that. You see the start with why now, right? Or
That's
why
better.
what?
Yep, that's better.
Okay, so here's the slides you guys missed. Nothing crazy. We follow those who lead, not for them, but for ourselves. Like I mentioned, because it's coming from our beliefs, what we believe to be true about the opportunity or the company. And so those who truly start with why, they have the ability to inspire them around them, inspire others around them, and also find others that inspire them. You start to live in a world of just like things that you're inspired to live about. It's very fulfilling. And so start with why. And this is my foundational sharing formula with why. If I could really like from start to finish of how you inspire someone, this is the formula from my past 4 years of doing digital online marketing and sales, and really just communication with people and how to communicate them to inspire them to take action on something that I'm also inspired in doing. So you start with my why, your why. There's the what, there's the how, and then you end always with my why. I should have had my why there. So unlocking your why. This is the meat and potatoes. This is the assignment portion where these 4 questions, and I have more. If you guys are having trouble, you can contact me and we can work through it, and I can help you with some more questions to really pull through, because sometimes you just need someone there to ask you, why did you start this business? Why? Why did you do that? Why was that meaningful to you? And you keep going down that breadcrumb trail until you really find the core why. And so these are just some priming questions that get you closer to that. Why did I start this business in the first place? What is my purpose in this life? Why do I wake up in the morning? And this is a really fun one. If I had all the money and the time in the world, what would I do then? And who would I help? If you've ever thought about what your purpose in life, this is where that stuff and that juice comes from. And of course, it's hard to put it into words because it's coming from your limbic brain, which does not have anything to do with language. That's all the neocortex and the analytical side. And so that's when some people are, I have a hard time explaining myself, or I just spoke from the heart. All those certain things start to really, from a scientific point of view at least, start to show there's some common threads there, and you can start to pull power from that and pull understanding and clarity from that. It might change in a 50 or 100 years, that's science for you, but at least for this moment, for me, it resonates a lot with me, and hopefully for you, you can start to see it that way as well too. When you know your purpose in life, you tend to live out a more meaningful existence than those who don't. You tend to live each day to the fullest because you know who you are, where you're coming from, and where you're going. I also have some other benefits of a strong why. It helps you stay focused. It makes you feel passionate about your goal. It gives you clarity on your vision. It makes you feel gratified. It makes you live with integrity, encourages like literally the list goes on. And this is the amazing juice that comes behind this stuff. And so start with why. There's no other place to start. And then so I'm going to provide everyone on this training that's in the builders group and that's aligned with Atomy and that vehicle on what the what is and what the how is for you, so that you guys can start. You don't have to figure out that stuff. All you really do have to know is your why, and then the rest is just plugging this into a formula. So what is this? This is internet entrepreneurship or entrepreneurship. High quality products, absolute value for lowest price. This is self-employment. It's working from home. It's passive income. It's all natural herbs. It's the what's. It's the what parts of this. And it's really the analytical features and benefits stuff. The stuff that if I was just talking about that the whole time, everyone would have been sleeping, because it's just not coming from that why center. It just doesn't really inspire and motivate people, but it is the proof. And it really backs it up. It's the proof behind the pudding and everything there. So you have to mention that after the fact. And the how. And this is more the bigger ideas, the more the how to, right? And so it's the Atomy business opportunity, the smart consumers. You could even say it's the success systems or the 8-step system that Doug Wu was talking about. Those are more the how things, the international company aspect of it, the weekly trainings, zero startup or maintenance fees, personal website, the community and the support aspects of it. All of this is all super important to know for us right now so that you can start building out your formula. And I'm going to come back to this slide because it's your why, which you're going to spend some time tonight, 15 minutes personally by yourself and asking yourself some of these questions, and just start to let that pour onto a traditional piece of loose leaf paper. It works the best. That's the best way to connect to your limbic brain as well. Computer is just not a good interface to pull out that really core why. But once you got that, you've got 90 cents of your dollar, because everything else I've designed and curated for you. You can maybe just even think about what of the features and benefits, maybe I missed some, and let me know if you want to add to this slide, because maybe future trainings when we do this, other people will have that extra. And then same thing with the how. And I think even after listening to Janet on the last training and how inspiring so many different facets of this, you can really, whatever's personal to you about these, pick those. You don't have to do it all. Just pick a couple of those of what's meaningful to you. And what you'll end up starting to do is, I just called it the speech, but this is just another formula that you guys can just literally plug in. And it might sound a little bit robotic to say to someone on the street, but if you put this to memory, eventually and what I really want you guys to do with this is just so that you guys truly know why you're doing this, what it is, and how people can get involved. This is truly, and this is my formula. It's why, what, how, and why. And so I'll break it down this way. When people ask what I do, the answer is simple. It's because of my why, right? Jeanette was sharing some of her why tonight about her having the ability to travel with her mom and have 3 generations full of wealth passed down onto her family and her kids, and just like all that juicy good stuff that comes from the heart. But really now you understand it from a little bit deeper of a level. It's coming from the limbic emotional gut feeling, the part that just doesn't really have emotion or doesn't have language. It's coming purely emotion, and it's really, it is whimsical. It is like that. And so people are like, oh, but then they need the proof. They need the backup. This is all possible because of what I do, right? Makes sense? I never thought I would be able to do this because of my past limiting beliefs. I added that in there. If you guys haven't done any looking into past limiting beliefs, it's a huge reason why people hold themselves back in business. I have this fun quote where it's like, you don't have business problems, you have personal problems showing up in your business. And so suck it up, figure it out, and get some help. Ask me for help, ask your upline for help, and we'll point you down the right avenue if you feel like you're holding yourself back. But it's just a fun little thing I say to myself and others, because it kind of makes you pop out of it. You can't blame no one else after that, and you keep going on it. But past limiting beliefs are really powerful, so I mentioned them there. But after finding out how, and this is, I can go back, after finding out the Atomy business opportunity, after finding consumers, after realizing that there was training, after realizing that it's 0 startup fees and no monthly fees. So what was I waiting for? You know, type of thing. I realized I was the only one holding myself back the entire time. And then I am so happy I get to live my why. And this, a lot of this is customizable, but it's the structure, you guys, and it's more the why, the what, the how, and then the why. And when you share with people on video, belly to belly, if you start thinking about creating content, this is going to be a really effective formula for you. And then so I gave you guys an example of a quick example. And I actually go into this more on the video that we're, hopefully if we have time, we can all watch it together. And if I get a okay from everyone, we can just start implementing this right away, because I feel like we've upgraded. We've reached a new level. And this is my way of sharing this. Everyone else will have their own unique way of sharing this. On the top and on the bottom, you definitely could, you could just take this middle chunk out. And I don't know if you guys can see my mouse right now, but the part where it starts with "this is now possible," and basically the what and the how parts, you could just take that and just use that right now. Just focus on getting your why down and then plug it into the formula. When people ask why I do what I do, the answer is simple. Because I remember 4 years ago, I was working at a chemical plant and working at a dead-end job basically, and I could barely pay my bills. I remember there was this one moment I checked my bank account and there was like a way I had overdraft, and I didn't even have enough money to pay my bills that I had left that month. And I literally started to weep while pushing the shop floor, and I felt broken. And I told myself I would create a more abundant life for myself and others that were in a similar trap. And that's like the iceberg of that entire story. But just for time constraints, you guys can all dive into my why on future videos and stuff. That's not what this is about. This is about you guys understanding this model. But understand it'd have maybe some emotions inside of there, some real grit, some real stuff in there. And it's like what really happened and the real reasons why you're doing this. So you might get emotional, and by all means, let that stuff flow through at that moment. And this is now possible because of online entrepreneurship company I'm affiliated with called Atomy. It's a health and wellness daily essential product business that's leading the industry with high quality natural products, the lowest price possible. This opportunity gives me the ability to create a passive income from my laptop or smartphone wherever I am in the world. Essentially, financial and location-based freedom. That's what this provides. That's what this is, right? I never thought I would be able to do this, because I thought I had to trade my time for money at a job. And I never thought I could start my own business without having to go back to school and pay a fortune, right? And so that was the limiting belief part. Just like this is a training, so I want to really break this down so you guys understand that. That was the limiting belief part. Those were my limiting beliefs prior to this business. You guys might have had some other beliefs that you had prior to this business that held you back, or, you know, and so start to really write some of those down right now if they come to mind, because you can just plug those right in. But after finding out there are trainings, there are people out there, and they're willing to support and help you improve your life without having to pay a fortune. So that removed my limiting beliefs. That really, really evaporated all that. And I realized I was the one holding myself back the entire time. I'm so happy I get to live an abundant life, financially free for myself, and have access to a program that can help others do the same. I hope you feel the same. If anyone resonates with this message, you can reach out to me and let's get started on your path to success. Type of thing like that, right? And that's just a simple formula, a simple way that everyone can start sharing this belly to belly online in your unique way. And what I really want everyone to do is I'm going to send everyone, I'm going to just drop it in I'm going to drop, not this slide. I can drop both of them if you guys like. I think that might help. I'm going to drop the formula, and then I'll drop my example and my homework, what I'm challenging everyone to do. And literally this might take you, it doesn't have to be done by next week, because I understand this is a pretty pivotal part of the business and everything, but start working on this. And if there's a place you start with, it's with your why. And if you figure out this, you have 90 cents of your dollar. You basically have paid off and you're on your way. If not, like, what ends up happening is, what I would like you guys to do once you have this, it's almost like a personal commercial. It's like a personal manifesto to yourself. You can start reading this every single morning, and you can even start adding some things into the what and into the whys and into the hows areas. And this very much can start to become a form of a goal and a vision sheet and everything. It's all in the why. It's all there. It can be for when people are just starting out and they don't know too much about visualizing their goals or setting intentions or having, you know, I just kind of explain it to people. If you don't set the GPS for where you want to go, how is it going to know where to go? Right? And so this is all what this is really doing for your subconscious, which I showed you. 95% of this stuff is subconscious, and it's not your fault if you feel like you're getting held back or you feel like it's not working or whatever. Like, it is totally some like BS stuff that got added on from when you were 5 to 12 years old. It was probably the way you were raised. It was probably your upbringing. It was probably all of that stuff. What we do now is we take full responsibility. And what's really cool is the tougher your upbringing, the tougher your childhood, your mess becomes a message for other people. And so if you haven't been being vulnerable and sharing some of those aspects of where you were and where you are now, those will be some huge catalysts that really people come in for those reasons into this, and they don't even give a you know, I don't like to swear on this, but a rat's ass about sometimes about the products in the company and stuff. If they came in on your why, they're like, wow, no, I had the exact same experience when I was growing up, and that's so transformational that you were able to rise up out of that. And I'm so inspired by the life that you get to live. And the life that you get to live might be just that you have a vehicle, you have an opportunity that is accessible to everyone, and there's no excuses why anyone else can't do what you do, and you do it consistently every day. That could be the really inspiring thing, that the other person's like, man, I wish I could do that like you. And you're like, you can, if you just apply yourself and focus yourself and do this business, and we'll train you. It's not hard, right? And so there is like this, it is in the action with a lot of this stuff after, but if you have a strong why, I feel a lot of this becomes effortless and ease, and it really makes it a lot easier. Where there's a great passage where without a vision the people will perish, and starting with why is the first step, and you creating and holding a vision that's really, really valuable and important to you. And I'll just leave it at that. That's probably good enough for that. That's everything for this evening. That's everything for the presentation. We can open up everyone right now for questions. Actually, I won't unmute people. I do that sometimes. But you can unmute yourself, and if you'd like to share, your thoughts and any questions. The slides will be available if you want. You can drop your email in the Smart Builders chat, and I will send you the slides directly to your email if you would like them. At the moment, I just have them in PDF form, which is a fairly large file. I'm trying to figure out how to put it back into PPT or whatever so other people can edit them too. So, but any questions?
You can put it in Google.
Yes, I will do.
Send the link.
Yes, yeah, and maybe I can, yeah, I'll figure it out so that everyone can maybe even make their own adjustments to it as well too. I think that's I always like having that ability too. So, Kathy, how was that? What was your experience with that?
I got some of it, but my laptop stopped and Vince told me what to do, but I'm on my phone now.
Oh, that's okay. It's been recorded, so if there's parts that you want to catch up on, you more than inside of the smart consumer community. So if you haven't been invited to that yet, definitely reach out and get an invitation to that, and you can watch the replay there. Awesome.
Great.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Okay.
You're welcome. Hi, Linda.
Hi, Kathy. Talk with you later.
Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Excellent. Well, is there any other questions? Comments, reviews? We're gonna end the recording here right away here, but
You did a really good job, Brody. Thank you.
absolutely, no, much appreciated. Hopefully we're gonna go in a little bit of a progression. This start with why one is the first in probably about a 2 or 3 video training, and it'll be the top-notch stuff. This comes down from all the people that do all this type of stuff. Tony Robbins and Mel who's another great, not Mel Brooks, what is her name? But so many other great people.
Oh yeah, Mel Robbins or something?
Mel Robbins, yeah, Mel Robbins. Lots of different people in the industry. I don't know why it's losing me right now. Brendan Burchard, John Assaraf. I have a full list of people. Some of my favorites right now are Mike Dooley is a really great person. If you want to go into the law of attraction side of some of the stuff we've talked about tonight, and that's what starting with why really engages and really starts from a very centered place, not from a I want this place. That doesn't really work. But if it comes from a very burning passion place, it's really powerful, and it has to be something that's meaningful and serves and fulfills the whole thing. And that's what this is doing for people right now too. It's fulfilling a need that they have, but through the why, I think that's when they've really respond well. So, and yeah, take the week, you guys, to think about, and I don't know if I mentioned it enough, but when you're doing your why, minimize the distractions, make sure that it's a quiet place, light a candle, put on some very relaxing music, whatever your kind of relaxing safe mode places like that. Start to write your why in those types of settings, away from distractions, and just take a couple deep breaths and look at, I'll share the 3 slides that you really honestly only need to write your why, but then I'll also share the full slide deck for anyone that's interested as well. But yeah, those will be in the Small Builders chat. I don't know if you're in the Smart Builders chat yet, Kathy, but if you would like to, you're definitely more than welcome to join us in that. But yeah,
Okay,
she's so adorable.
Oh, thanks. She should be in bed, but we're moving.
Everyone wants to be a part of the party.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Say hi to Brody.
Hi, Brody.
Hi. Thanks for being with us tonight.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.